All right, everybody. Well, we can continue to talk about the deadline, of course, now that that's over and done with. But despite this mode's tremendous amount of shortcomings, I do still want to mess around on some franchise with this throwback roster because, we've made a good amount of progress in terms of improving this team. I feel like, I feel like we could be pretty close to some level of success. In terms of what the team looks like for this year, right now, preseason, we got to get the training over and done with, so we still have to set that up. Shout out to Ryan Malone, though, who had a crazy amount of off-season development, which is great. But yeah, we'll still have to get the team sorted, but I've gone through all the training and all that happy horse shit already, so we can pretty much get down to it. The big question is probably got to be skating related again. And I don't even think I was able to sign Nate Prosser. We are going to have to trade some forwards as well. That's the big thing. We have way too many forwards and not enough defensemen on roster. So good enough to compete for a playoff spot. That I agree with. And we will work on our skating. Puck control is overrated. Definitely got to work on the skating. That's the biggest reason why certain prospects just won't make it. Mike Green is mad. God damn it. Whoa, my Kraken are selling everyone, but we got assets now. Not everyone. They probably could have done a little bit more. I just realized that alerts are not working. And I don't know why. That makes sense as to why I wasn't seeing them earlier. Thank you for the 45, though. Let me see if I just refresh and see if that fixes. Sometimes they fucking glitch out. Kraken are one of those teams that probably could have done a little bit more, but not bad. You will be on the first pairing this year, Mike. You will be on the first power play this year, Mike, and you will be on the penalty kill this year, Mike. Now leave me the hell alone. Leave me the hell alone. What a nightmare it was to try to sign Mike Green. But that's on Geno Smith to the Raiders. Best of luck to him, but man, that's some wishful thinking. Who knows? Maybe it works out really well, but that's some wishful thinking. You'd be like, yes, this is what the Raiders needed. Geno Smith in 2025. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. Can't wait for NBA eras again. What new eras do you think they'll add? I mean, they literally can't go any further towards present day. They need to go back to the freaking 70s and the 60s. Hopefully they do. They really, really should. But they need to fix some of the inner workings, like the mechanics of that mode, like the contract, salary stuff is broken as shit. It's a pain in the ass. But, alrighty, let's see what the hell this team's going to look like. So in goal, actually here, so defensively, we got Hedman, Green, Brody. Dumoulin isn't going to make the team, I think. We are going to send down Dumoulin. We're going to send down Jonas Donskoy. We needed another right-handed defenseman. Badly. So we'll have to get one in a trade for one of the forwards. So we got Radulov, Palmieri, Panik, Martin, San Louis. End up getting the call up. We got Malone, Skinner, Nyquist, and Kreider. Potentially. I got to send down Foligno, Berchke, and Zach Hyman. Let's call up Gillies and Matt Martin for the moment. And then centers, Stamkos, LeCavalier, Hodgson, Coyle, Eakin, and Coleman will go down. Let's call up Marty. And then at center, is there anybody in the system that needs to get called up? No. Okay. Trade talks are wrapped. Some Lightning franchise on tap. My brain is haunted by the Don Cherry rap. Let's go. Yeah, for anybody who's never seen that, despite Don Cherry being an old fart, feel free to look up the old Don Cherry rap, Rock'em Sock'em 5. It's a time. It's the time. All right. So, yeah, we gotta get rid of some forwards here. Got to get rid of some forwards to make room for some defensemen. So let's see what we got here. Let's see. That's right. We have Carolina's first round pick because of the whole Eric Stahl thing. I forgot about that. So goalies, nothing to do there. Because we'll have Pogge and Zatkov back up Leclerc this year. We'll have Gibson and Vassy in the AHL. Again, defensively, I just need defensemen. It's the biggest thing. We just need defensemen. So right wing side, definitely have some people that we could look to move. Weiss and Smith are both 24. Can I move Ben Smith for anything? No. Can I move Dale Weiss for anything? Oh, always try to trade guys like this first, but let's see. Left wing side. Well, these guys are still younger, 23 or younger. We got a super young team at this point. And then center is just, again, a lot of younger dudes, 23-year-old players. Can pretty much guarantee I'm going to have to manually trade these guys. So let's see if we can free up some roster spots, get some defensive help here. So let's see. So anybody 23 or older. So we got Ben Smith. We got Dale Weiss. Bowman, Mahler. It's a lot of dudes that I just signed. Shit. A lot of dudes that I just signed. Kreider was NHL ready, wasn't he? So was Gustav. Well, we're definitely keeping Chris Kreider. So Colton Gillies, Matt Martin can also go. Who else do we have that was 23? Dwight King. All right, let's see. What team needs contracts? Boston's at 36. 29 contracts on day one of the season for the Calgary Flames. This game is, and this is why I haven't been manually doing trades, so that I don't have to see what other teams' contracts look like. I can just accept deals and move on with it. They're over the cap. The funny thing is, though, again, two-way deals. Like, they can afford all of these guys. Jesus Christ. All right, well, let's help out Calgary a little bit, because they can barely ice a fucking team. Can I get a third-round pick for these guys? How about a fourth? Oops. No, give me a fourth. Pay the stupid tax, idiots. Okay, so yeah. Ben Smith, Dale Weiss, Colton Gillies, Matt Martin, and Dwight King. Wondering if the scaled back cap is screwing over the roster logic. Maybe. But if so, that it would be an obviously like horrific oversight by the dev team. It completely renders, custom league as irrelevant and unusable. So, but you could be right. Let's call up Steven Johns for the moment. Call up Justin Pogge. All right. Well, I got the roster spots that I need now to bring in some defenders. Still got a lot of people in the AHL. Mr. Besser, what's going on? How are you? All right. Let's see who's out there for free agents. Sam, I'm doing good. Not too bad. All right. Well, let's see. For left D. Oh God. Okay, who can skate? Who can skate that has a decent rating? Chorney, Bell, or Lepisto? Based on the ratings. Sid, you handsome summon a gun. Sid, how the heck are you? Thank you for the raid. My alerts aren't working tonight, but how did the stream go? I hope you are well. Is this still sorted by skating? Okay, let's see. Yeah, Sid, I'm doing pretty good. No complaints. Honestly, screw it. Let's bring in Akeem Alou. I did early the rest some more. Fair. I hear you there. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I don't make a dumb mistake. Let me bring in Nate Prosser. Buddies and I are running some mutual and 24 all enforcers. Done that. Been there. It was a fun time. It's been crazy, but I love the trade for Stankov, and obviously losing Ranted not a deal. So Caniac for the Hurricanes at the trade deadline. It is good from the perspective of the assets that they brought in. It worked out pretty well. However, they didn't necessarily need Stan Coven and picks. They needed a big-time player to bring them over the line and to get them that much closer to cup contention. And they didn't necessarily get that with Stan Coven. So that's where it's tough, right? Like, they did do well, but they did need more than what they got. If that makes sense. What the hell is going on with my mouse? There we go. Sheesh. All right, I need one more defenseman here. One more. Let's go for Bell. I really should get another right defenseman. So go for Flood or Stafford. Go for Flood, he's younger. All right, there we go. So that worked out well to get rid of our excess forwards. Claire Zakhoff, Pogge, Hedman Green, Braun Prosser, Hedman Brody, Brennan. We'll send down Flood and keep Chorney. Louis, Radulov, Palmieri, Panik, Malone, Skinner, Nyquist, Kreider. Okay, so we need one more forward here. If they were to not go far this year, I couldn't even be mad. You should be. You should be, though, at least in my opinion. Like, that team is too good to not be outright competing for a championship, you know? All right, let's see. Who do we got at like age 23? Colton Sevier, Oscar Mahler. Oh, for Colton Sevier as the 13th. Austin, thank you for the follow. Oh, that alert works, though. Why the hell are my follow alerts working, but nothing else? Streaming sometimes, I swear. Sometimes things just don't work, and then they do, and then they don't, and it's annoying. All right, Skinner's now a first-line forward. Can he play right wing? No, he cannot. None of these guys can play center. All right. Let's go. Malone, LeCavalier, St. Louis, Skinner, Stamkos, Radulov. I don't want Colton Sevier in. I want Cody Hodgson to be with Nyquist and Palmieri. And then Panik, Coyle, and Kreider. That's some good young, like, fourth-line grit. I mean, that top six really should be able to propel us to a championship. Hedman and Green as a pairing, by the way, is hilarious. I want Chorney out for TJ Brennan. I thought Brennan and Braun might give us a better option. Defense is probably going to need some deadline work. But, like, the high-end skill of this team, between the two top lines, the top D pair, I mean, we should be able to compete with pretty much anybody, you know? I just need to mark some things down because I want to make sure the power play is optimized here. And then defense, we got Hedman, Green. And then we want TJ Brennan in the mix as well if we can get him. So power play. We know we need Mike Green there. Let's go, instead of Malone, Jeff Skinner. Let's get Radulov in there. And then TJ Brennan. Just gonna let my bias win out. We get Stamkos for the one-timer. Skinner still has Crease Crasher. That is so weird to me. That is so weird to me. So distributor. Probably Green, finisher Stamkos. Puck carrier TJ Brennan. Stamkos on the face-offs. Honestly, I'm good with that face-off setup. That's fine. So then second power play. God, these menus are slow. Why is it still showing the face-off formation when I'm back at the top? EA. EA, man. It's my fault. I know better. I know this game is not what it could be, not what it should be. It's my fault. Second power play. It is Malone. Vincent Lecavalier. Martin St. Louis. Victor Hedman, and then either Nyquist, Hodgson, or Paul Mary. Oh, Ender, they were the best. The Blues were one of the few teams I gave an outright thumbs down to. For having a very poor deadline. Honestly, Paul Mary's going to win out here because he has a right-handed shot. So distributor. How do we want the distributor of the line to be? Let's go with Marty, finisher Lecavalier, puck carrier. Ooh. Distributor Hedman, puck carrier Marty, finisher Lecavalier. Yeah, I don't think I want Victor Hedman on faceoffs game. I might be wrong. Maybe I do. But it's so weird how it messes all that up, I swear. But all right, here we go. We just got the power play established. We have Justin Pogge as our backup, which I'm good with. And then AHL. Goalies, Gibson and Vasilevsky, which is hilarious. Dumoulin, Flood, Sealer, Alou, Hakanpää, and Johns. Ender, I appreciate the attempt at least. I was hoping I could get rid of that minus, but apparently not. Let's see. Forwards. Let's sort this by... What the fuck? Dude, I'm on the fourth line. Why did it go all the way up to Jordan Nolan? Oh my god. I swear this game has gotten worse. This game mode, at least, has gotten worse throughout the year. It's crazy. Ugh. How does it get worse throughout the year? That is the opposite of what's supposed to happen. What's going on with Boston getting fleeced from Marchand? Totally disagree that they got fleeced. Could be labeled cope on my part, but I don't think they got fleeced at all. They got rid of a guy who wasn't going to be able to play for them basically for the rest of the season. Team captain or not, getting a second, if not a first-round pick, I think was a tidy bit of business. I get that some people are like, oh my god, why wasn't the return more? And again, the reason is Marchand's hurt. He's going to be out until April. So, yeah, that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that Marchand's currently hurt. Because he got clipped in the head. hurt, 37 years old, pending UFA. Literally, if it just wasn't the thought of like, what do you mean Brad Marchand isn't going to be a Bruin? Like, if it just wasn't for that thought of like, well, that's weird, I think most people would be like, oh, yeah, that's actually a pretty good trade. All right. Well, it's good to know that this process takes even longer than it used to because these menus are fucking broken. Khalifa in the 33 months. That alert's not going to go through because why the hell would it? But welcome back. Thank you for the 33. How the heck are you? All right, let's see. Cunningham. Donskoy. Can't really justify Grimaldi. Can I take out Jordan Nolan for anybody? Like Coleman. Oscar Mahler. Definitely for Sven Berchke. Just a happy Stars fan, as you should be. As you should be. Rightfully so. All right, let's see. So from here, that means we'll have Beach, Clifford, Ronaldo as the fourth line. Everybody else should be a medium 9 except for Nordstrom and Riley Shahan. Let's see. It's Brett Connolly. I bottom 6. Fuck. Why does the scrolling have to be broken? I used to be able to set this up so damn quickly. Like, I'm on Riley Shahan, I click to the left, and it brings me to Blake Coleman instead of Donskoy. What the fuck? Can't even say the game's doing alphabetical order because it's not. It's so stupid. Like, how does something like that break over the course of this video game? It doesn't make sense. Fuck. Been like that for about a month now. I know, and it's fucking terrible. Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Yeah, rights over code and it bogs down menus. Correct. It is a big part of the issue. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother setting up power play. I just wanted to make sure we had Zach Hyman on the top line. Ugh. Yay. Yay. Pain in my ass that you are, I swear. Okay. You know, it's fine. It's fine. Set up what we need to set up. It is still taking a lot of work to enjoy this game, though, and it sucks because that's not how it should be. I shouldn't have to work to enjoy a video game. Let's see, 61% chemistry, 67 for Lowry. Reich's at a 52. Jaffray, 65. McPherson, yet this aspect of the menu is fine and actually works appropriately. So, figure that out, you know? Some of the menus, slow as all hell. Others, no problem. Annoying, I say. All right, let's bump him up. Wait, it was Lowry that was supposed to be our head coach, not Jaffrey. Palpatine, what's going on? Doing well. Aside from this game trying to kill me, doing well. Yeah, it was definitely Clint Lowry that we wanted. All right, let's see. Jaffrey is a 64% fit. McPherson is 62. Graves. 58. Okay. See if I can bring a goalie coach, especially for the AHL. We desperately need it. But yeah, aside from dealing from some of the shortcomings of this particular video game, and some examples of life throwing me some curveballs, I'm doing okay. With leverage, what do you think Carolina could have gotten for Rantanen? I think they did the best they could have done. There was no scenario in which they were going to have leverage, you know? Like, the second they didn't get an extension done, they lost all the leverage. So, Palpatine, yeah. It looks okay. I've seen some mixed reviews on it so far, but yeah, it's something I won't pay for personally. Oh, hard to think of what if, because Rantanen trade one of the biggest deals in NHL history. I mean, at least in recent history, that's for sure. That is for sure. But yeah, like Hurricanes were never going to have leverage in that deal. Like, that's the whole idea of like, well, if they had leverage, what would they have done? Like, the thing is, them having leverage would equate to him being under contract. And if he was under contract, then they wouldn't have traded him. So, I mean, you would think, in theory, that, yeah, like, the only leverage they had was what they played, which was, well, if you send me to Dallas, I'll re-sign. Like, presumably it was essentially a sign and trade, you know? Dude, it's all left-handed defensemen, I swear to God. No such thing as a right-handed shot in this era of the NHL. Craziness. Craziness. Player models don't look great. Yeah, Wheels, that was the primary thing I had seen so far, as I had seen some wrestling related content creators. I like someone like Wrestling Bios putting up some of the examples of what some of the player faces look like for the game, and there were some interesting ones. There were some interesting ones. God, everybody's getting hurt. Yeah, so like on Twitter, I had seen like, it's just the most obvious thing. Like, they had the normal Triple H bald look, but they put the hair on him, and it just, like, some of these, they butchered Pete Dunne. You could park a bus on Lex Luger's forehead. And then there's that screenshot of The Miz. So, you know. Case in point that, you know, the conversation is always like, oh, what if 2K made a hockey game? Doesn't mean it'd be amazing, but at least it would be another hockey game. At least give it a shot. It's Prosser and Brennan. Still hurt. That's a shame. And TJ Brody got hurt again. Fucking A. Everybody's hurt. Fucking A, dude. I don't want to have to fix the AHL Lions either. Just call up like Oscar Mahler or whatever and have him play fucking defense. Got no damn defenseman. No damn defenseman. Sniper on defense, baby. That way I don't have to fix the AHL lines as well. Victor Hedman gets hurt. Jesus Christ, game. Oh, you know how the menus are slow? Well, we're going to force you to spend an hour in them because everyone's going to get hurt. Hilarious. Call up Drayson Bowman. Nope, I'd be over the cap. Fine. Let me send down Jeff Zatkoff. Now I'll call up Drayson Bowman. Eastern Conference wild card prediction. Not the Boston Bruins. That's my primary prediction. It will not be the Boston Bruins. Take that one to the bank. God, Nate Prosser better be healthy by the time this fucking game comes along. Sweet Jesus. Okay, good. He is healthy. So post-trade deadline, Eastern Conference wild card predictions. Obviously not the Sabres, Penguins, Flyers, Bruins, Islanders after selling. Red Wings didn't do much. Habs didn't do anything. I'll go Rangers, Sens. At least the teams that are in the wild card spots right now, I think those two teams will make the play. I don't think Columbus did anything. Like, at least they didn't do much. Like, Luke Kunin, I'm sorry. Like, that is not the needle mover to make sure that you make the playoffs over, like, the Rangers, the Habs, the Red Wings. That just isn't it. That just is not it. Oh, man. This defense is a mess right now. Oh, my God. And now we get all of our conversations. More time in the menus. At least Jordan Nolan became a grinder. Thank God. After 3 years. We just signed him, actually, but still. Zach Hyman not willing to become a power forward because why would he? Why would he? That would be way too helpful. Marty learns how to play left wing. Way to go, Marty. Offseason with all the cap space the Canes have. Hopefully they can figure something out. I do think they're in a good position, but the Canes, for my money, have gone from top tier Eastern Conference contender to being in that second tier. You know, like the roster they had last year still wasn't good enough to break through. They tried with Rantanen, couldn't re-sign him. Instead of keeping him, they elected to move on. But again, you know, it's like, think about who they've lost. Like, you don't have Nate. Like, Natchez to Stankoven is pretty close to a lateral move, you know, if not outright a lateral move. So it's tough to say, like, oh, yeah, in comparison to some of the other teams that got better at the trade deadline, like, yeah, Carolina's in a much better spot. Like, maybe long term, but in the short term, they're not. And the short term is probably what they should have focused on, you know? So, Sens fan seeing this team, I think it's the most trades I've ever seen the Sens make at the deadline ever. They were surprisingly active. I mean, obviously, it comes down to the big center swap, but Lender, I mean, the real surprise is that you hit the coworker in the first place. Watch where you're going. See, I pulled the old switcheroo there. Ender said he had a coworker at work get hit by a car. He mentioned he was driving. Oh, thank God. Victor Hedman learned how to play right D. I might actually have some options now. Granted, we have Mike Green on that side. But Brian Dumoulin can play right D. After the Marchand trade today, right above your tweet about being happy, was a Bruins fan ready to burn his trade. Oh, dude, a lot of Bruins fans very unhappy. Trust me. Trust me. You know, like, I don't intentionally aim for contrarian opinions or stances. Like, you know, today I look at a situation, I become as knowledgeable about the situation as I can, and I form my opinion from there. If that happens to go against the popular opinion, though, then so fucking be it. I don't really care if a take that I have is popular or unpopular. It's just, here's my opinion, take it or leave it. I don't care if you care about it or don't. I don't care. It's just my opinion. Deal with it or don't. But yeah, for like Bruins fans that were pissed that Marchand got traded, like, I can understand it. But again, if I look at the situation, injured Brad Marchand, he's old, expiring contract, you were having trouble coming to terms on a deal to re-sign him, it makes sense to move him. I understand, though, why some people are like, well, he's a club legend and current captain. I'm mad he's gone. Like, I get that. For the other people that are just like, oh, it's to Florida, though. Like, I couldn't care less where he got traded to. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I've never been one to be like, oh, I don't want to see this guy. At least I don't feel like I've been. Maybe I have been in the past, and there's a tweet out there someone can find, but I don't feel as though, and I still don't have that opinion now, that, like, I'm upset that a player from my favorite team is now wearing the jersey of a rival. Like, I don't care, you know? Like, even, like, apparently the word was Marchand did want to go to Florida if he was going to get traded, and the Bruins abided by that. And it's like, okay, like, he wants to win. Cool. You know? It's just... he had a no-trade clause, but there wasn't that many teams on it. Maple Leafs, Pastrnak wouldn't necessarily care. Like, I don't know. I felt like it would certainly, like, depend on the context, you know? Like, there would have to be something about the context in which a move like that happened that would cause me to be annoyed by it. Our depth scoring has been real bad, but also we've dealt with a million injuries. Dusty, what's going on, dude? Mike Green has just 13 points. Victor Hedman's only played half of our games. I can't even necessarily judge this roster for their performance so far this year because we have been so injured. But yeah, I really, like, I'm struggling to think of a scenario in which I'm like, oh my God, this person went and played for this team. Like, I don't know, like, even as, like, it's like as a Liverpool fan, if, like, Virgil van Dijk's next chapter was at Manchester United, I'd be like, it doesn't erase what he did for the team, you know, for Liverpool. Like, the idea of, like, if Patrice Bergeron didn't retire and said, I want to go play for Montreal because I grew up a Habs fan, cool. Am I going to be mad at Patrice Bergeron? Like, well, because you're wearing that Habs jersey, I'm going to forget all about the stuff. And it's like, you know, certain people, I think it's probably more mad at the management that they traded him to Toronto or to Florida, as opposed to, you know, the idea of, like, it was Brad Marchand's choice. But again, like, you just get the best return that you can. Like, it's like, for example, and it's something I forgot to talk about in the beginning of the stream when I went through all the trades, and obviously it'll be uploaded onto YouTube as its own separate, like, hey, here's me talking about the trade deadline. I didn't mention, in regards to the Hurricanes and the Rantanen trade, the offer that Toronto had on the table, which was, one could argue, a better offer than what they ended up taking from Dallas. But Carolina said, well, we don't want to risk running into the Leafs in the playoffs, so we're not going to take that deal. That, to me, is a mistake. Like, I get it, but at the same time, in that situation, you take the best return you can get. But at the very least, it is a debatable situation as to what was the best return. And it's debatable for now because we don't know what will come of those picks in the future for the Hurricanes. Like, we're fucking 10 years away from knowing if the Hurricanes actually did the right thing. So there is that element to it. What was the offer? It was, let me see if I can find it here. Because I know it was Nick Kyprios that had mentioned it. Let's see if I can find it. Spoilers for the pick, it'll be a Russian or a Finnish player, right? God, we still don't have any defensemen healthy. Let's see if I can find it. We got to keep simming here anyway because this team just has not been healthy. It was very annoying. Cowan, Minton, first rounders. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I had the full thing. trying to see if I can find the specific source that I can find. I mean, some people debate whether or not, you can trust Kyprios. But the word was from Kyprios, Easton Cowan, Fraser Minton, and 2 first-round picks for Rantanen. Like, that was apparently what was on the table, was Cowan, Minton, and 2 firsts, as opposed to what they took from Dallas. If you believe Nick Kyprios, Carolina didn't want to trade him to Toronto because they didn't want to run into Rantanen in the playoffs. On the Leafs, I do that and unplug the phone. Yeah, so again, you can debate what the better return would have been. That theoretical deal from Toronto or the actual return that they got from Detroit, or from Dallas, I should say. Is what it is either way. Just, an interesting situation. Like I said, though, from the Bruins' perspective, it's like you take that deal from Marchand. Like, if that's the best deal on the table, you take the best deal on the table. It's like hell with like, oh my god, but it's a rival team, and all. Like, let's be honest here as well as I punch my microphone. Let's be honest here, and I said this to my wife earlier today on deadline day. The people that are mad about Brad Marchand getting traded to the rival Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers are not a rival to the Boston Bruins. They're not. Rival is described as a person or thing competing with another for the same objective or for superiority in the same field of activity. By definition, are they a rival? Yes, they're competing for the Stanley Cup. But let's be honest, when the Florida Panthers have met the Boston Bruins, the Bruins have lost. They are rivals, but there is not a rivalry. It has been a one-sided beatdown by the Panthers on the Boston Bruins. And you might say, like, oh, well, I mean, they were 3-1 and then they lost the series. Dude, doesn't even matter. Like, the Florida Panthers are not, like, a rivalry. Like, it's been a beatdown. Like, the Panthers, much like the Lightning and Bruins, wasn't a rivalry. The Lightning just beat them every fucking time. That's not a rivalry. A rivalry is when it's back and forth and It's like, it was one-sided. It was. Boston-Toronto's a great example. Like, the Boston-Toronto rivalry. It's literally the meme of, like, I hate you. I don't think about you at all. Like, that's literally what it is. Like, the Bruins have done that to the Leafs for the past 10 years, and the Lightning and Panthers have taken their turn doing that to the Bruins. Like, it's not a fucking rivalry. Not in the slightest. Oh, Brad Marchand's gone to this hated rival. What, the fucking 2010 Philadelphia Flyers? What do you mean, hated rival in Florida? They don't give a fuck about the Bruins. Like, did you watch the fucking playoff recap series on Amazon at the start of the year? Where it's all about, oh my god, this crazy rivalry. Octane, thank you for the follow. And it's just, like the Panthers celebrated the win over the Bruins, but they're just like, all right, on to the next one. Like, it was a blip on the radar. It was just a series. Like, yeah, they enjoyed beating the Bruins, but it wasn't like, oh my god, this is like we won the Stanley Cup. Like, they didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck. Capitals also bulldozed us because of Holtby. Yeah, right? Fucking Capitals Bruins rivalry. What fucking rivalry? It was Braden Holtby just spanking the Bruins over and over again. What fucking rivalry? Capitals and Pittsburgh. Is that a rivalry? I mean, Pittsburgh dominated that shit. They beat them like every fucking time. So, I mean, I don't know. To me, a rivalry, it's a two-way street. It's a back and forth. A lot of the examples I've been giving and that have been mentioned in chat, there is no back and forth. It's just one team spanking the other consistently. So, it's a rivalry to me if it's a back and forth. So, we have a trade to announce. You've been traded to the FIFA community for future consideration. Oh, thank fuck. I can finally stop playing this game and play FC full time. Between the pro clubs and career mode, let's go. I can finally abandon this community. Oh, thank you. This is the greatest news I've ever gotten. Oh, thank God. Thank God. I'm finally free. The Bruins' true rival is the too many men on the ice penalty. Dude, it's that and fucking quick change goalie skate blades. Just ask Tuukka Rask. Fucking A. Oh, man. BUBC is one of the greatest true rivalries I've ever seen. It's always back and forth, and there's territorial aspect to it. Yeah, like I said, to me, like, a rivalry is a two-way street, right? Like, I view, for example, I'll use a football comparison. Liverpool, Manchester United. That is a rivalry. Liverpool, Everton. That is not a fucking rivalry in the eyes of Liverpool fans. It's a rivalry in the eyes of Everton fans because for the most part, they consistently get spanked. It's the same thing with Leafs and Bruins. For the Bruins, it's like, yeah, we enjoy beating them, but whatever. For the Leafs, oh my God, this hated rival where it's like, if it's too one-sided, how much of a rivalry really is it? Like, there's a reason why you had the Boston-Montreal rivalry, but let's be honest, Montreal spanked Boston a ton in that rivalry as well. That was more of from a Bruins fan's perspective, it was a rivalry because the fan base was sick and fucking tired of losing to that goddamn team. Whereas for the Habs, it was like, cool, we're going to beat Boston again, whatever. Like, I don't know. So again, my definition of what a rivalry is probably different from the actual technical definition and everything. But, it's just one of those situations that it just depends on how you look at it, So, I don't know. God, dude, the injuries this season were so fucking mid. I don't even know if I'm adding at the deadline now. I've barely had a healthy team. Red Sox, Yankees, similar. Right? Like from the Yankees' perspective, did they view the Red Sox as a rival? No, they viewed the Red Sox as the team that they just enjoyed kicking into the dirt. Like I don't consider that a rivalry. Like when one side views the other as their favorite punching bag, that's not a rivalry. It's a one-way street of hatred versus, it's fun to dunk that nerd's head in the toilet. But, again, semantics, I suppose. We'll just go best lines here because it takes way too long to fucking fix this shit. Bruins will bring in Quenneville to coach. If the Bruins bring in Quenneville to coach, I'm not a Bruins fan for the duration of that. I've said that before, and I mean it sincerely. In fairness, I said the same thing, too, in regards to, like, okay, they tried to sign Mitch Miller. It's like, yeah, you fucking eat crow on that. Reverse your decision, you fucking dumbasses. And thankfully they did. But, yeah. Yeah. I would rather have the Bruins rehire Peter Chiarelli as a GM than bring in Quenneville as the coach. Easily. Not even a question. That's been one of my big issues in terms of like my declining interest as a hockey fan in general, is this idea of like, we're fighting back against cancel culture by allowing like Stan Bowman to still be a GM. It's like, no, you're just assessing that there can actually be proper consequences and you have no right to have a job at the NHL level. It's not a guarantee. It's a privilege that you fucked up previously, but we live in a world where it's like, no, we're fighting back against cancel culture, so Stan Bowman can come in, even though, we're not even going to talk about it anymore. Don't worry about it, because it's cancel culture. It's just fucking gross. It's fucking gross. Like, Joel Quenneville, great fucking hockey coach, but in a just world, like what you did, or should we say didn't do, should be disqualifying. It won't be. He will eventually be back. Stan Bowman's currently the GM of a fucking team. Right? Again, that's been one of my big issues, right? It doesn't matter how shitty of a person you are. If you can generate enough money, help a sports team win games, whatever, you will be given an unlimited amount of chances. It's why John Jones still is promoted heavily by the UFC. It's why Conor McGregor will still probably fight in the UFC again. Even though, you know, he was found, well, I don't want to get the technical term wrong because it was a different court. You know, different terminologies in Ireland. But given that he was found guilty in a civil case in Ireland of assaulting and raping a woman in December of 2018. But if the UFC gets their first opportunity to promote Conor McGregor for a fight, they will absolutely do so, and it will be a massive deal. Why? Because he can generate money, and he's popular. Yeah, Swag, exactly. That's honestly the best quote to describe sports. If Hannibal Lecter ran a 4-3, we'd be classifying it as an eating disorder. And it's not just a hockey problem. It's everywhere. But, you know, hockey's my fucking favorite sport, so I, you know, feel a little bit more passionately about it than I do elsewhere. But, you know, I don't know. We got a trade deadline to go through, and I'm probably trading away pieces off of this team because we have not been able to stay healthy all goddamn season. We've been just a smidge distracted, and I allowed myself to be distracted because, God, some of the mechanics of this freaking game tonight, I swear.